So, as promised, ladies, a quick video of how I do the PixelPower Brow. So, the machine I'm using at the minute is the Zion. I've got the Vertex needle point 30, single needle, and critical atom. So when I do, obviously I've done my pre-draw, when I do my outline, as discussed, I have quite a fast speed, so speed 7 on the atom and needle out around 2.2 millimeters. So when I do my outline, I like to etch that in at a 45-degree angle. We just really want to just graze the skin and just gently put that pigment in. Don't push down and go in too hard, because obviously you're going to get that really harsh line. So hopefully you can see this okay. So 45-degree angle, get your little air movement going. Pull back 1 centimetre, forward half, back 1 centimetre, forward half, back 1 centimetre, forward half, and so on. Until you get that line in. And I reach the tip of the tail end. I just want to taper that out slightly so it doesn't leave any harsh stops. Remember, when I do the top of my outline, I'm starting it about 3 centimetres back from the front. And then I do the arch in one swoop. And then taper that out again. Drop my speed down to 6. Pull my needle right in to around 1.2 millimeters. And start my shade. So I don't wipe that off, I just go in and start shading. Remember, keeping it at a 2 flick count, starting from the tail end, working away from you. 1, 2, move. All the way up to the top of the line, and then back down. Move forward half. So I'm doing wick shading for this. I'm going in at 90 and I'm flicking it out the skin. Move forward. When I get to around 2 centimeters from the The front, I want to do that in one long swoop. Still in your 2 flick count, but in a long, so 1, 2, all the way to the front. Really whip that forward and then back down. That is my first pass complete. That is what you're looking at getting in. You want to get quite a bit in on your first pass. As you can see, I've got my outline. It's really, really fine. And then I've got all my pixels around the front where I've really whipped it forward, and then I want to just fill in a little bit more and make that the tail end and body a little bit more powerful. So I just repeat the first pass minus the outline. So still on speed 6, needle still short, and then just whip shade again. My lead by the sound of things. Right up to the top of your line and then right back. I'm sitting at work right now in my little clinic, and I'm set up as if I've got my client on the chair. It just makes me really miss what we do. I guess you all feel the same, but not long now, ladies, and we'll all be back to work. So yeah, back to my front 2 centimetres, so nice long whips. So as you can see, it's filled in quite a bit more. You usually end up with a slight little line where it hasn't connected properly, where you haven't gone right up to the line. If you're confident enough, you can, when you're doing your shading, you can go slightly just outside the line, because then that way it feels inside the line, if that makes sense. But obviously if you're not confident enough to do that, then yeah, don't do that. But what I tend to do with my with the remaining part of my second pass is I go and then use pointillism just in any of the areas that are a little bit sparse or have any little gaps, and just fill that in with that. So fast speed for pointillism and needle back out to around 2.2, and always start from the tail end and just fill in any little bits. Keep them quite tight together because we want more of a feel. So I keep the pointillism quite tight together. We're just gently, just touching the skin, just really, really gently. Don't push it in and hold it really hard, because you're going to be left with quite dark, deep, dense spots, and we don't want that. You don't need to go over the whole brow, you just need to go over any of the areas. We just want to fill in any of the areas that haven't taken the pigment. when I come to the front of my brow, I just want to sparse them, you know, make them quite sparse, really even them out and make them quite far away from each other. So I can see, just keep checking, keep wiping. I usually spend about 5 minutes doing this with my lady. Just really tidy that brow up. So that is enough for my second pass. I'm going to go on to my third pass now. So what I do for my third pass, keep the speed at quite a high speed, so 7 on the atom. Pull the needle in to around 2.2, at 1.2, sorry. And we want to do a kind of like a whip stroke pendulum. So I'm going into the skin at 90 degrees and I'm bringing it forward and backwards, but I'm not pendulum where you're coming out quite slowly. I'm going a lot faster than that. You need to keep the needle moving at all times. So just backwards and forwards once and then move. Start to swoop it down forwards and then start pulling it back on yourself. As you can see now, it's really starting to build up that tail end. I only usually do this twice on actual skin. Sometimes on these, I'm using the real skin mats, practice mats. I find it a little bit harder to get that sharper finish. So I might have to do it again on here. But usually with skin, I don't do it any more than twice. When you're swooping it down, remember to release your pressure, because if you don't, you're going to end up with that line going down and it just looks a bit ugly. So now it's really filled that tail end and body part of the brow. So So what I want to do now is go back to doing pixelating using the pointillism technique. So just leave it at speed 7 and pull your needle out. And just really now spend that time tidying up those brows. So again, just any little areas. It's usually around that outline. You have to be really careful with the outline. You don't want to get it too thick, too dark, too dense, because it's going to take a lot of time to blend that in, and it can heal really, really funny. The outline can be visible, but the shading part might not be so visible, and you'll just be left with an outline. It looks really crap. So yeah, just really spend that time blending it all in, and taking that time when you do your outline not to do it so dense. Again, I spend around 5 minutes, if not longer. I really enjoy doing the finishing part of the brow. I really do take my time to blend it all in. That's really coming together nicely now. Obviously my brow style is a really sharp, quite dense and bold tail until you get to midsection of the body, and then it graduates into a really soft pixelated front body. So the last part that I do to finish my brow is I usually come over the opposite side of what I was doing. I still have my needle out around 2.2, and I have a fast speed setting, and what I want to do is, starting from the tail end, I just want to just etch really gently at 90 degrees towards me, and just sharpen and straight off any little areas that have, you know, where the outline might be slightly a little bit jagged, or you might have missed a couple of little bits with the pigment joining up from the brow to the for the shading, sorry, to the outline. I just really want to finish that brow, so I would come this way and do that. I'm going to turn it around so you can see it better from this angle, because otherwise you're not going to be able to see. So just ever so gently, just backwards and forwards. To be really careful, keeping it as straight as you can. Also at this point, if I want to make my ladies underline a little bit darker, because some of my ladies like that outline to, the underneath line to really quite stand out, this is where I will do that. So that is really now sharpening and finishing that brow. So just really double check any bits that you might need to just add the odd little pixel here and there. Double check, blend off anything that needs blending. Pleased with that. Let's give it a good wipe and then I will show you close up. That's it. Cute. So as you can see, you can see your outline. There, it's all soft, it's all blended in really pretty. You've got all of the pixels at the front. That's it, that's how I complete my PixelPower brow. So that usually takes me about an hour and a half with my clients. Sometimes obviously it can take 2 hours if you've got problematic skin, but very rare do I get that. I'm usually quite lucky with the type of skin that I get. And that is it. Hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, just pop it into the group or you can message me direct and I will be happy to answer.